Hey, my name is Caesar, and in this short video, I'm just going to explain how we added 13.6k to the MRR of an AI UGC agency from Twitter acquisition funnels, okay? Including a 10k a month deal closed from Twitter and having booked people such as the team member in Manus AI, okay? The Rizap founder, okay? Cantina AI founder as well, Max Fusion AI founder as well, and many other big names in the B2C branding space, okay, alongside booking 30 calls, adding 3k followers, okay, and all of that good stuff. You can see here some proof of the analytics. You can see here the proof talking about how we booked the Manus AI head of marketing and stuff. All of that good stuff. I think at the end of the day, it wasn't the head of marketing; it was a team member. It had something related to vibe coding, but it was a team member. I ended up finding her LinkedIn, and it's actually a team member. But anyways, yeah, all of that good stuff, booking off these people, and then the client saying that we're going to becoming the number one content writer on Twitter and such, hella bullish on this becoming the biggest X agency, and then here's some screenshots of him booking 8 calls in a single day, saying that we should chill, okay, and the people that he closed and such. You can even see here, this was actually from him as well, Alex Fedotov, a guy who actually generated like $100 million in e-com sales, wanting to see the demo, and then also Nick, who generated 8 figures in info, wanting to know more about the system and such. Okay, and yeah, now we're going to be just really easily going through this case study, going through how we actually delivered on this. And the first step of all, obviously, after closing this client, was hopping on an onboarding call. Right, we hopped on an onboarding call, and before the specific onboarding call, what we did was we scraped the entire market. We scraped every single competitor. We got a custom built AI agent for this, where we'll scrape like Twitter, YouTube, all of this good stuff, okay, to find competitors, to find like trends, emerging AI tools around it, to find like emerging new stuff, things that are going like market opportunities, like industry gaps, to know how we can fulfill on those. Okay, so we basically like analyze everything in his space to know like everything about him pretty much. That was like the first thing that we did, right? We first hopped on that deep dive call. On that deep dive call, like I asked everything about this guy. Like I literally discovered like his grandparents' nationality, like his backstory, his like internal insecurities, like his why, his mission. Like I really go in depth. I really like to go into this in-depth, really big deep dive calls with clients to fully understand everything about them. So yeah, I got to know everything about this guy, everything on that call, and then I already had the knowledge from his competitors and such. And one thing that I realized in the market, in his specific market, was that no one was really talking about AIGC at a big level on Twitter, because it was the only people talking about that on Twitter were selling info on AIGC. There was no like done for you AIGC agency targeting B2C brands on Twitter. There was none, okay, and basically like no one was talking about these things properly. There was no like done for you guy. There was one guy, but he was only posting like these super terrible like tweets, these super terrible like long form tweets who were like super cringe and such. So the market was wide open. The market was wide open. And one thing that we knew a lot as well was that like all of these agencies, one thing they try to do is they try to have like this optimized everything. They like to be like super corporate, super like uppercase, perfect grammar, no swearing, no like jargon, no cuss words, no type of slang in any way, shape, or form in his space and in the agency space in general. So we went kind of into the completely different approach. Also because that's kind of like how his personality was. So we went into the opposite kind of route, right? And this is like obviously this is we I discussed this with him on the strategy call, to go completely in the opposite route and to go like way more chill, way more like authentic, way more casual type of thing, which is not always the best thing to do in B2B, but for his specific ICP, which was B2C brands, it was all right to do, because these people aren't really that corporate. Some of them are like the corporate, like the funded SaaS are a little bit, but the ecom guys, no, the ecom guys, like the ecom DTC brands, they like more chill dude and such. But anyways, I I wanted to do this. I asked him if you could do it. He was down 100%. So then we worked on the next thing, which was basically based on this positioning, like how will we position him? How will we position him in the market? So we already knew, but now we wanted a profile picture and a profile banner and like a bio and such, and a tone of voice and a style that really fit fits like this specific scenario that we want to do, this specific way of being, right? So we went into a more casual type of thing, which I won't go too much into depth, right, because of NDAs, but we went into a more casual approach with the profile. We optimized the profile accordingly. Good stuff, amazing. Okay, good stuff, good stuff. At the time, we didn't do one thing in specific, which now we are doing as well, which is doing keyword research on Twitter to know like what are the best keywords for this specific space, and then doing a certain XEO, so like X engine optimization, where we basically optimize the clients to make sure that like whenever someone is searching AI UGC, agency, AI this, the name will appear. But obviously we don't do this like in a cringe way where it's like adding to the name of the person, like let's say the name of this client was John Doe, like John Doe AIGC agency for B2C brands. No, that's super cringe. Never do that in your entire life, please. But yeah, anyways, back to the topic. So market research done, onboarding call done, profile optimize. Then we also gathered all of his internal SOPs, all of his internal guides, all of his internal systems to really fully understand like, okay, so what does this person do? Like how can we completely like show this person the best lens possible, right? How can we really write like this person would write? So we got all of his internal systems dialed in, all of his case studies as well, all in the same place. Okay, so we know everything about it. We have everything consolidized so that all the team members as well work on his account, which by the way were an appointment setter and an engagement specialist and a writer and an account manager. So we got all of these people super dialed in on like every single information about this guy. We even managed to see his sales calls to know like what objections appear the most, how he explains his service, okay? Because many times the offer that he says on the day-to-day, it's not the same that he says on the sales call. Maybe on the sales call he pushes this specific guarantee or frame it in this specific way. Maybe the offer that he's pushing is not as good, but when he does something in the sales call, let's say instead of saying like we will 10x your sales or some shit, it doesn't convert. But when he says I'll scale you past 8 figures, it converts. Because when you say scale past 8 figures, they think in the long term when it's 10x sales, it's kind of sounds like ChatGPT, you know, like those sorts of things. Okay, so there are very tricky things in this like entire system. But anyways, we saw his sales calls as well. We added those things to know and fully understand about this prospect, right? All of that good stuff. We managed to know everything about him, all of that good stuff. And then we went into the actual actions, okay? After, of course, building out the comms, building out the infrastructure, we went into the action. So we started with the top of the funnel stuff, which is the content and such, right? We started with the content. So we started by writing 1 week worth of content, get it approved really quickly so that we can start posting immediately. What we start by doing is when we have new accounts in specific, if they aren't already getting initial motion, on the first week we go a little bit broader than we normally would go. Because on B2B content, you don't want to go super broad. You never want to go super broad on B2B content. But on the first week and the account is dead and you gotta revive it, you gotta go broad. You just want to get eyes on you. Because if there's no eyes, there's no leads. There can be eyes and no leads as well. But there will never be leads and no eyes, if you get what I mean. You know, you get what I mean, right? You need eyes on you, okay? You need eyes on you. You don't want to get lost in the sauce, you don't want to get lost in the views, but on the first week, you need motion, you need reach, okay? So what we did is we went a little bit broader. We didn't call out specific ICPs, we didn't say for B2C brands, we didn't say this and that, we just talked a little bit more broadly. Of course, we didn't do stuff like, I don't know, like the best business model to start in 2026. Of course not, we aren't retarded, right? But we did different things, okay? We still talked about the IGC, but yeah. And we were talking about these things properly. And we started with a launch post. That's what we like to do. We like to start with a launch point where it's like to really hit the ground running. That's the perfect expression for this. We want to hit the ground running with as much force as possible. So we start with a launch post, super amazing, talking about case studies, results, story, to introduce yourself to the world, make sure it goes as viral as possible, and it did get some good motion. Go as viral as possible, and that will catapult yourself forward, and then you ride that momentum. Twitter is a lot about riding the momentum. As soon as you lose momentum because you want to take a day off, or you wanted to take a nap, or it's because it's Christmas or some shit, you get fucked up. You get fucked. So never do that. Never lose momentum. Momentum is an amazing force. As soon as you lose momentum, everything plummets. Leads go down, book calls go down, morale go down, clients churn. It's terrible. Never do that. Never lose momentum on Twitter. Okay? because then your entire life will plummet. You'll go down into a rut. Never lose momentum. So we post the same first post, amazing, damn, launch, boom, good views. Next post, we do an Ask Me Anything. Ask Me Anythings are good because they always go really viral, and they're also good. They'll always go viral, and if you do it well, it's also a good exposure post. So we do an Ask Me Anything afterwards, and then we already exhausted like the launch stuff. Now we start with plummeting the content, a bunch of like gigantic content, really valuable stuff about AIGC, multiple angles. We created a specific funnel, right? Even this is like the entire funnel, right? The entire funnel, but there's also just the content funnel. Okay, just the content funnel that we got. We have we divide content into 3 types. Okay, we have first of all the top of the funnel, problem unaware content. So this is for problem unaware people. I don't know if you probably know this concept if you are a B2B marketing agency owner, which you should be, because this channel is strictly for those people, and everything I talk about is specific for those people. If you're selling info, leave this video right now, because this won't apply to you. It's completely different selling info. If you want to know how to sell info, you gotta rage bait everyone. You gotta be super stupid. You gotta be doing all of that crazy stuff. But anyways, I'll just check it here. Okay, so we started with the problem-unaware people. So this is the people that aren't aware of the desire, or they need to solve the problem, or they won't honestly admit it. So this is specifically the type of content that is stuff around, for example, like persuading people on the benefits of AIGC, or maybe stuff like rage baits around AIGC, or belief shifts, showing why AIGC is good. Maybe something like as an industry take, like why AIGC will be the future, or like competitive advantage, like why hopping on AIGC early will be your competitive advantage. Building FOMO, building fear of missing out around AIGC, building all of this good stuff, all of that amazing stuff, mistakes to avoid with AIGC as well, like all of this good stuff, that type of content, above the funnel stuff. We make this be around, if I had to give a percentage, let's say that if we were posting 7 days a week, which we aren't, but let's say we were posting 7 days a week, at least 3 posts should be top of the funnel stuff. Should be top of the funnel, these things, okay? Then we got middle of the funnel, problem-aware posts. So this is for people that are already aware of their problem. So people know, my problem is I don't have leads, and I'm not hopping on the AIGC. Those are my 2 main problems. So now how do I fix problems? How do I start the AIGC? How do I scale AIGC? And this is where the actual authority comes into play. This is when you show how to scale AIGC, how to hit 100K a month with AIGC, how to run up these big numbers with AIGC, specifically for big brands and such. This is when you teach people. This is when you are giving out your frameworks, giving out your internal SOPs, your templates, your prompts, all of that good stuff, right? Be careful with the prompt stuff, because you're selling a done-for-you service, but you can still sell prompts. But yeah, that's too saucy for me to give away here. But anyways, yeah, be careful with the prompts. But anyways, middle of the funnel type, problem-aware stuff, targeting these problem-aware people. So in this middle of the funnel stuff, we aren't teaching people why IGC matters. We aren't grounding on benefits. That's top of the funnel stuff. Don't mix things around. Each tweet gotta have a purpose. Each article gotta have a purpose. Giveaways have purposes. Don't mix things around. Maybe, okay, really quickly you can overview like why does this matter really quickly, but don't go too much into depth. If people click on to read the middle of the funnel problem aware people tweet, they are middle of the funnel problem aware people. This is the audience. They already know that AIGC matters. Otherwise, they won't even click on read more. You feel me? Anyways, I'm just yapping at this point. Then we got the bottom of the funnel stuff. Bottom of the funnel solution aware stuff. So this is for people who they know the solution exists, so they know how to do AIGC, they know how to scale on AIGC, but they don't know any specific product to solve it. So now they basically know that AIGC is good, so they already know that AIGC is fucking amazing. They know how to run AIGC, they know, but now they don't have time. Because they're rich. I'm not going to be doing AIGC myself. I got better things to do. I don't want to figure it out myself. How do I get this done for you? Haha. Then we go into case studies. Then we go into, it can be a personal case study. It can be a case study of a client of our clients. It can even be like a name jacking or a social hacking a big name. It can be like how Cluely scaled to $7 million a year with AIGC. This works. And bear in mind, if you don't have case studies, you don't qualify for my done-for-you service. Don't even book a call when I pitch you later on this video. But anyways, if you don't have case studies, you can do like case study of other people. Just make sure that you don't show that, like, you don't make it seem like you scaled Cluely or something, because that's stupid. Of course, you didn't scale Cluely, right? But yeah, you can do other people's case studies. For example, if you're selling meta ads for info. You can do how Iman Ghazi scaled his info course to $9 million a year with, with webinar funnels or something. You can do these things. Don't overdo it because it's kind of cringe, because then it just seems like you're just like, it's kind of cringe if you do it too much, but you can do it every once in a while. So like case studies and such. CTAs as well. Giveaways can be all three. Most times giveaways are more top of the funnel, but you shouldn't be doing giveaways with problem-aware content. You should be doing like middle of the funnel content and bottom of the funnel content, giveaways, because they gotta be like super valuable assets that you explain the value quick. You don't have to explain. You don't take too much time to explain. It's immediately like a guide on how to scale to how I scale to $1 million with AI UGC. Like it doesn't take much time to explain why it's valuable, right? So that's another big tip for you, okay? But anyways, I'm just yapping once again. So this is how we structure the content funnel. So back to the things. My bad. Back to the topic. Back to the things. Where were we? We were on the first week of content, going a little bit more broad, right? Making sure we get motion, two launch posts in with the ask me anything in the launch post, and now we just hammer it down. So as much value as content, as much value as possible. So now we're just like hammering value, explaining people why they should care, value, explaining people why they should buy from us, value, and all of that good stuff. And then content doesn't really change that much from then on. Then after week 2, that's when you start pushing more case studies. That's when you start pushing more valuable assets, more valuable guides. That's when you start pushing other things. But yeah, because at the start you don't want to be pushing super bottom of the funnel stuff in the first week, because no one is going to be reading that. But at the same time, you should be pushing stuff that is like showing your results and showing like quantifiable, measurable results, and talking about why you know your shit, because no one knows who you are, right? Your account is dead. So if you want to revive it, you gotta show people that you are worth listening to, even though you got like 50 followers. And the way that you do so is by establishing authority, and you do that by revenue claims, like claim like how big is your agency, claim like how big is your client results, claim how big is everything in you. You get what I mean? Kind of like girls with girls, but anyways. But yeah, okay. Back to the topic. Content doesn't really change much from this. Next week, we go a little bit more niche down, because in B2B, you want to go niche down, you want to go specific. That's how you actually attract amazing leads and all of that good stuff. Anyways, so then also trend checking viral things. I think on like the second day or something, I can show you here. On the second day, we posted something rage baiting a specific event. It was a specific thing around. I won't say, but it was a famous streamer said something and did something, and we could make it go back into AI UGC. We could, for example, and we basically trend checked that. We added value and it got 358k views. Okay, so like on like a 2k follower account post or something. So this is the client being super crazy about it. It's like the post going really viral. No boost, no rage, like no, it was a rage bait tweet, but it wasn't like any boost and such. And it really revived the account, which was really good. And so yeah, it really revived the account. You wanna be doing those types of quote tweets and those types of trend checking stuff. We trend check it really early on, and we added more value. The way that you wanna be doing trend checking is like, you add value to the conversation, or maybe you just rage bait the conversation, or maybe you just like, you can share use cases, or you can just hype it up as well. Sometimes you can just hype it up. Those are like the 3 types of like trend checking. You can rage bait, so like you can rage bait, you can do like all of these things. I won't bother. I can't write fast, so I won't even bother doing these things. But yeah, those are the 3 types of trend checking stuff. You can rage bait people, you can do the other thing, which I already mentioned, which was like adding value to the conversation, or you can just hype it up. So if it's like an AI stuff, let's say like an AI model comes out, you can just hype it up and say like, this is the best AI model ever, and it will go viral and it will get you leads, because people will agree with you. Anyways, back to the topic. We did giveaway launches to really capitalize on to really make sure that we are forcing people to. If you don't know what a giveaway is, it's basically a post that you are giving out a valuable asset, where in return people have to like and comment to actually get the assets. So this is really good in the beginning, because you'll get a lot of followers. It will signal to the Twitter algorithm and such that you are getting motion, that you are worth listening to, that you are worth following. And this is amazing. Like, this will get you a lot of followers, a lot of good foundation. You want to be doing this on the first week already. You want to be spamming this, you want to be spamming this. Maybe later down the line you can kind of chill, but you want to be doing them a lot in the beginning. Then reply to leaders and warm up the ICPs. So reply to industry leaders, warm up the ICPs, warm up the people in the comments, reply to the people in the comments. We delivered all of that with a specific engagement specialist. He's completely trained and such. It's actually from a first world country, and he's paid well, and he's actually doing things properly, and all of these things, right? Doing things properly. Also to dominate niche conversations. He had a Telegram funnel as well. We were implementing a Telegram funnel, and we were nurturing leads there as well. Whenever we posted like a big giveaway, we pushed it on the Telegram. Whenever we posted a big post, we pushed it on the giveaway on the Telegram to make sure we get as much motion as possible. If you don't have a Telegram funnel, you can share it with your friends, you can share it with your family, you can share it with your dog, with anyone that will give you motion, anything that will make you go and grow fast. If the first week is terrible, you can tell that like it won't go well afterwards. Okay, so we want to make we made sure that the week was amazing and as best possible, because that's what we also do with clients. We always make sure that the first week is amazing. If the first week is not amazing, we already know that the client will churn, because like then afterwards it won't be like the morale is just crushed. So we make sure like then we keep up the momentum. Then with the DM conversion mechanisms, I won't be sharing scripts. I won't be sharing any of these things, but I can tell you like from where did we took the DMs and what funnels were we running. Every single giveaway launch, we were sending out the giveaways, okay, sending out the docs, the guides and such, and then we were pitching those people, DMing those people, being in this like basically on this specific sequence where we're just talking with them, asking if they like the giveaway, if they like these things and such, having a normal conversation, and eventually booking them in. Then also, whenever there was a new follower coming out, a new follower following us, immediately DM, asking, appreciating for the follow, asking about their journey and such, being a normal human being, and then complete normal conversation, booked. Once again, appointment setter, completely trained on your account, in-house guy, good stuff, right? But yeah, then the third funnel, third DM funnel that we were running was complete inbound, where it's like inside the content, we were leaving CTAs, so reply CTAs inside the content, and to DM us a specific keyword. After the DM us a specific keyword, we reply to them, we talk through them, and then we book them. Those are the three funnels, the three DM funnels that we were running that were alongside the content. Okay, those were the main things that we were doing. Then also objection handling, good stuff. The main differences on Twitter DMs from like cold email or LinkedIn is that you gotta be way more chill, way more casual, and don't send out too many sentences. Like don't send out like 5 sentence paragraphs. Like send one sentence. Don't be this annoying little needy brat. On Twitter that doesn't work. Like people check Twitter casually. They check Twitter to learn something new, to have fun with your friends and such. They don't want to be there reading like your five sentence paragraph that could be said in one, or in one word even. Okay, so that's the main thing. You want to be casual. You want to be human. Way more than on these other platforms. Way more. You don't want to be following up a lot as well, because that's needy and weird and desperate, especially on Twitter. Anyways, after the lead is booked, we send out the lead magnet. We send out all the lead magnets, all the case studies, all the sales assets to nurture them, kind of like a pre-call nurture sequence to make sure that they show and they are actually warmed up. Then after they show the call, easy, 15 minutes, 10K wire, done. 10K of clients like that in the 50 minutes call. That's how we operate. That's how we operated pretty much. That's how we worked through this. That's basically what happened. That's basically how we got these results mainly. That's basically the funnel that we were pushing. The things I can't say really nitty-gritty stuff, but that's like the overall Twitter acquisition funnel. Then the most important part that everyone overlooks, ongoing analysis and optimization. Algorithm adaptation, data-driven iteration, performance tracking, always tracking everything. We got a CRM where we track everything. We track views, we track every single thing. No one else does this. No one else does this. You want to be data-driven. You want to make sure that every single week you are better than the other. Okay? That's what we did. That's all that we did. Then, another thing that we always do with clients right now is we send out weekly reports. Every single week I send a personal loom explaining to them what we did this week, what went right, what went wrong, how many calls booked, how much did we do compared to last week, and then we say on this following week what we're going to be doing different, how we are going to be improving, and clients love that. That's what we are going to be continuing on doing. Then monthly sync-ins as well, talking with clients, talking with people on those monthly sync-ins to make sure that we are actually always improving the content, because what many ghostwriters do, they won't ever hop on monthly calls with clients, so they won't ever have new content to talk about, so content just gets repetitive month after month. You don't want to be doing that. You want to hop on one monthly call, continue to be talking and texting the client to better understand these things. That's what we always do with these clients. And then afterwards, on that monthly call, we get to know where they are with their business, what did they learn, what new SOPs have they built, what new guys do they have, and then create content based on that. That's the system. That's the Twitter acquisition funnel. That's how we added 5 figures to this offer in 2 weeks. Okay, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much whatever I wanted to talk about. And now I'm going to be pitching you. Okay, so if you want similar results and you are a B2B marketing agency and you want to know how we can personally help you add 20 to 40k to your MRR in 60 to 90 days through this exact funnel, okay? This exact funnel in here, just go to the first link in the description in the YouTube. You're going to be having my website there. Go there, check a little bit more about my offer if you want. Hop on a call with us. We are going to be talking, completely chill, and just get to know if you are a good fit for this, good fit for your business, and that's all. Really appreciate you. Hope you got value from this. That's all, bro. Goodbye. Bye-bye.